Everyone, it needs to stop. The great debate of Hunter x Hunter 1999 versus 2011. It needs to stop. This debate has long been a very ill-mannered discourse with each side completely discarding the other one as trash. For example, I've seen people say that the 1999 version is dated and completely unsuitable for modern times. I've also heard people claim that it is riddled with filler and that it does not follow the manga closely at all and strays away from Togashi's vision. Against the 2011 version, I've heard statements such as, it's the kids version, only the kids watch this one, and that it is completely devoid of any directorial genius or thought put into it. Basically, I've heard people claim it is a straight one-to-one copy of the manga with nothing special to it. I'm here to dispel both sides, as the truth is far from either of those claims. So first, let me explain what this video is about. In this video, I will be telling which version of Hunter x Hunter you should be watching and why. First of all, let's make this clear. Yes, 1999 does not cover the entire manga. It only covers up to the Yorknew city arc. You might be saying that, wait, it also covers Creed Island, the OVAs. No, 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 no. The Creed Island OVAs are a horrible, horrible thing. The Creed Island OVAs are what the 1999 haters think 1999 is. They are really bad, and it really shows its age due to its nature of being an early digital anime with minimal compositing. So I'm not going to claim that people should watch 1999 and then just stop watching Hunter x Hunter because it's the better version or anything like that. What I'm saying is that regardless of which version you use to watch up to the Yorknew City arc, you should then continue to watch the 2011 version starting from Greed Island and onwards. Starting from the Greed Island arc, the 2011 anime gets a noticeable quality increase in animation and direction. And with the Chimera Ant arc and the Hunter election arc, the quality just becomes better and better. Many people have indeed pointed out that 2011's quality gets way better in the later episodes compared to the beginning episodes. So let's just compare each arc one by one and see which versions are the best ones for those arcs. First, let's also get this out of the way. Whichever version is better heavily depends on what kind of person you are. If you only care about an anime being manga accurate and speeding through the material as fast as possible, then 2011 is for you. If you only care about the impact in fight scenes and all the epic hype moments that fight scenes have, then 2011 is for you. If you care about atmosphere and directing, 1999 is for you. If you care about better animation, 1999 is for you. Now, some people might be confused about that last part, but it is indeed true that 1999 has more well-animated sequences than 2011. 2011 is in fact a very, very lax anime when it comes to providing high-quality animated sequences. While it does look more modern and the character art is more consistent from episode to episode, that does not remove the fact that it has less good animation than 1999. Okay? If you care about good storytelling, 1999 is for you. I am not claiming that 2011 tells the story in a bad manner. However, one can't argue that the removal of Kite from the first episode is a very, very big problem. But Kite is not all. The 1999 version adds additional depth to each character and makes them feel more human and makes them have more character development throughout the series. The 1999 version also adds stuff to the story. Well, full on filler episodes, there's only 4. But they also add a sufficient amount of new material that fleshes out the story. For example, the battle between Kurapika and Hisoka is 14 minutes long in 1999. In 2011, it's 14 seconds long. With additions like these, 1999 is essentially more Hunter x Hunter. And seeing as how Hunter x Hunter is a good series, I see that as a very big positive. So let's go through each arc one by one and discuss which version you should be watching. The Hunter exams. Now, this first arc, there's a very clear winner. It's not even funny how much better the 1999 version of this arc is. The 2011 version of this arc suffers from repeating background musics, hardly any animation, lackluster directing, ugly art direction, everything looks the goddamn same no matter where the characters are, and everything also looks overly bright. This is because the art director for the Hunter exam up until the Heaven's Arena arc for the 2011 version was not of like they didn't do a very good job. And for the Yorknew City arc and Greed Island arcs, there was a new art director hired. And for the Chimera Ant arc and Hunter Election arc, there was yet again an even better art director hired. So I'm not gonna call the art direction of Yorknew City and onwards of 2011 bad, but the Hunter exam arc up to the Heaven's Arena arc, they do look kind of hideous in 2011. Although I'd argue that Heaven's Arena still looks way better than the Hunter exam, even though it's the same art director, but still. In the 1999 version, the art direction is absolutely stunning, and each plot point is given the proper time to breathe. The Hunter exam is also the only arc of 1999 where there is actually major story additions, although there are a few later on as well. And these story additions they increase the world building and flesh out the story and the world. Stuff like Leorio's backstory being properly explored instead of just being outright told by Leorio. Then there's stuff like Killua having to face someone whose father was killed by his family. It's a very good exploration of Killua's character, and I really wouldn't have this section of the story any other way with like her just not existing. Then there's also the additional phase of the Hunter exam, which is just wonderful. I mean, it's just great in my opinion. Then there's the whole gag about the written exam. Like, oh my god, is the final phase gonna be a written exam? Or is it gonna be like... and yeah, everyone thinks it's gonna be a written exam. The biggest miss of the 2011 adaptation as a whole is Gon versus Hanzo and Killua versus Illumi. Both of these encounters are completely stale and devoid of any impact or emotion in 2011. Like, you really have to love the story yourself to get any impact from these 2011 versions of these scenes. I asked someone like, do you remember Gon versus Hanzo? And when they answered, no, I don't, I immediately knew that they watched the 2011 version instead. In the 1999 version, Gon vs. Hanzo is beautifully animated, beautifully directed, and Killua vs. Illumi, like, oh my god, it's directed to absolute perfection. It's absolutely horrifying, and it's just like amazing, honestly. There's not many anime episodes as good as that Killua versus Illumi episode out there. Next up, the Killua, the Zoldyck family estate arc. Now, this time around, the 2011 version isn't a complete trash like the Hunter exams. It's actually quite a fine version of the story. However, there are a few things that just make 1999 a better version of this arc. For example, in 2011, Mike doesn't try to attack Gon after Gon tries to save Leorio from it. That scene is just completely gone from the 2011 version. And also, the beat up Gon receives from Canary is much less bloody and gruesome in the 2011 version, which makes it lose a lot of impact. The 2011 version almost looks sanitized by comparison. There's barely any scratches on Gon, honestly. So the arcs are good in both versions, despite the flaws that 2011 has in this arc as well. So I won't blame you if you want to switch to the 2011 version after the Hunter exam arc. But the most important part is that you definitely need to watch the Hunter exams in 1999. Because, oh boy, like, you do not want to. It's just, do not check, like, the 2011 version of that arc. None. Nuh-uh. No, 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 no. It's, it's not good. And honestly, I think the 2011 adaptation of that arc is the sole reason why people consider the beginning of Hunter x Hunter to be very weak. Next up, we've got the Heaven's Arena arc. And this time, you know what? The 2011 version actually is equal to the 99 version, if not better. I still wouldn't go as far as to call it better than the 99 version, but this time around, like, they are pretty equal. Gon vs Hisoka is amazing in both versions, which is good. And yeah, the problem with the reason why 99 isn't absolutely demolishing 2011 this time around is that the 99 version of this arc kind of cuts out some stuff. There's the big elephant in the room. Hisoka versus Castro. That fight is pretty much gone in 1999, and only God knows why. It's a great battle. It's pretty much just gone in 1999. But to its credit, there's like the fight is pretty much completely irrelevant to the plot. Like, it doesn't really enhance the plot in any way. But yeah, overall, Heaven's Arena arc, honestly, watch whichever version you want. That's my take. If you like more, however, I am gonna like emphasize the fact that the 2011 version really just like focuses on those hype moments. It doesn't like the character moments, they're not really focused on the 2011 version. The 2011 version is all about the fights and the hype moments, but the 99 version is more about the aftermath and like what next. For example, when Gon hits Hisoka in the face, the 2011 version just shows it's like a super dramatic thing, like it's shown from 3 different angles and there's booming sound effects and it's just absolutely mental. But in 1999 it kind of just happens, and then the focus, we're given a silent, well, it's not really a silent moment, it's a silent in the sense that nothing is happening really. We get like this peaceful moment of Gon giving the badge back to Hisoka. I mean, obviously in 2011 he also gives the badge back to Hisoka, but this moment isn't really given much. It's not really emphasized as much in 2011. The emphasis is more on the hype moment of Gon hitting Hisoka, like, oh my god, he hit Hisoka! What? So just keep in mind, if the anime hype moments, if you don't really care about that and instead care more about like the characters and the story, then 1999 is probably still for you. But I couldn't be mad at anyone for choosing to watch the 2011 version of this arc, considering it even has like a fight that wasn't in 1999. Although technically 1999 also has an added fight that isn't in 2011 or the manga. It's Killua versus Dorado. And then finally, we've got the final arc, Yorknew City. Now, first off, I'm gonna say that this is actually the hardest arc to talk about because, yeah, I mean, with 2011, it's all about the hype moments again. Kurapika versus Uvogin, for example. The emphasis is put on when Kurapika kills the fucker, but this time it's really inappropriate because Kurapika definitely did not enjoy killing him. Even the dialogue states that like he feels like he's like nauseated from this having to like kill people. But the anime is just like, wow, this is hype, guys. Look at this epic kill, guys. In 1999, the kill just sort of happens, and then the focus is placed more on the aftermath. Honestly, for this arc, just I don't know. I mean, there's great directing in the 1999 version. Like, there's some absolutely great shots of Kurapika, and like Kurapika's like Nen training episode, for example, is a great example of like how great the directing in 1999 can truly be. And that's just it's sort of just like isn't there in 2011. There's also like the 2011 version definitely like there's definitely like censorship in the 2011 version. For example, like when that woman gives Squala, whatever his name was, cock and ball torture, like that scene just kind of like isn't really shown in 2011, but in the 99 version, like it shows her kicking him in the balls, and it's pretty like it's interesting. It's interesting. And it's just stuff like that that's left out from the 2011 version. I mean, okay, I can't say stuff like that. That's like the only time a scene like this happens. But like overall, the 2011 just like it's just. But like it's weird because both versions do censor stuff from the manga. So I'm not gonna act like 1999 is just like the gory version and that there's no gore at all in the 2011. Like, no, that's not true. For example, the Krollo's like indoor fish ability and the guy who's getting eaten by it, that scene is like more graphic in 2011 than 1999. So really, it's just a game of chance as to which version is more gory at which scenes. I will say that I personally way prefer the pacing of the 99 version of the York New City arc. Also, obviously, the art direction is like way better than 2011. 2011 looks pretty uninspired, while 1999 really sells the big city aesthetic of York New. So yeah, honestly, like it's pretty close because I'm not gonna say the 2011 version of York New City is bad at all. Like, no, it's not. And again, like, yeah, I just the 99 version, the fight scenes, they're way better than 2011. Even though 2011 is the one that really like sells those hype moments, like 1999, it just has better animation on like pretty much all the fights. Like Kurapika versus Uvogin, like that's just beautiful in the 99. Meanwhile, I think that episode in 2011 was literally outsourced. So yeah. And I just for some reason I just can't stand the repeating like music usage, the repeated soundtracks of 2011. Like it's great music, but if you only watch the 2011 version, that music you're gonna be hearing a shitload of the same musics over and over again. And it's not until later in the 2011 version with the Greed Island and Chimera Ant arcs when they add more music that this becomes like better. So honestly, just watch the 99 version. That's my take on the case. But if you are a person who relishes in the hype moments and wants a fast adaptation of the manga that's pretty accurate, then sure, go for 2011. There's nothing wrong with that version per se. It does tell the story very accurately and very well, apart from Kite being cut out from the first episode and from the entire series, except when he suddenly gets introduced in the Chimera Ant arc. Yeah, the thing is that 2011 it really does just try to adapt the manga, and that's it. Meanwhile, 1999 was made by a genius director who kind of tried to add his own spice to things. So it really just depends. Like, do you want the most accurate and fastest paced version of the story, or do you want just the most accurate representation of Togashi's vision, or do you want Togashi's vision but with added spices from a genius director? Like, which one do you want? I understand that for some reason a lot of people seem to think that manga accuracy is really important in an anime adaptation. In my opinion, in an adaptation, you are meant to change some things because that's what an adaptation is. It's inherently gonna be full of changes. But for the people who just prefer manga accuracy, stick with the 2011 version. Like, yeah, just stick with that one. Although the thing is that like 1999 definitely is more accurate to the manga in terms of tone. The tonal the tonal shifts, like it's way darker than 2011, which makes sense because the manga does depict the story as pretty dark. Meanwhile, the 2011 version, especially early on, tries to kind of sanitize this story, and then it's a fucking massive tonal shift when suddenly the Chimera Ant arc begins, or the Yorknew City arc way earlier. That some people are just like absolutely, they just get completely confused by the tonal shift. Meanwhile, if you watch the 1999 version, there really won't be that much of a tonal shift. I mean, there is a big tonal shift still when it goes into the Yorknew City arc. Like the opening changes, and it makes it clear to the viewer that this is a new type of story now. There is still like a tonal shift, but it's not like so jarring anymore. Watch the 1999 version up to the Yorknew City OVA, so the first 70 episodes of the 99 version, and then jump to episode 58 of 2011. That way, you can experience Hunter x Hunter in the best possible way, in my opinion. And if you still don't know which version is really for you, the easiest test really is to watch the first episode of both series and then decide based on that. Peace out.